this is really special for us at Amazon Prime Video because here we are at the most prestigious and Asia's oldest film festival. And only this year, of course, OTT is here at IFFI. And when you say OTT, I can only think of Amazon Prime Video. So I just want to say this was the perfect home and also for the premiere to make this occasion so special. Nushrratt, this is going to be exciting. We're going to watch the film for the first time here, so I'm very excited about that. So I hope that you're going to join us in just a little bit because I have lots of questions about this, all right?
I'm right here.
Yes, exactly. So let me take the first question to Manish. Hi, Manish. Question to you is, you could have chosen a lot of films, okay, but why did you think that this film, of course, was so special to be at IFFI this year? Let's start with that.
So the first thing is I think IFFI is one of the biggest film festivals coming out of India, so we can only be very proud to present one of our biggest films and coming from prolific directors like Vishal and our partners in Abundancia and Crypt TV on a film like this. I think the one thing that's important to see here is horror remains to be a significantly underserved genre in India, and we're seeing very high consumer demand coming on the back of films that we've had in the last couple of years. So we've had films like Tumbad, Durga Mati, Pari, we've had international films on our service, and every time we've had a film launch, we've seen very high consumption. And when you look at that, and when you see the supply of films, it's pretty restrained. It's a big opportunity for us. And to see a film, of this caliber that's coming out of Prime Video and then launching at a festival like this, I don't think there could have been a better choice.
Wow, it's a marriage made in heaven, I must say, or on OTT, I must say. So thank you for that. This is pretty cool because basically डराने में बहुत मजा आ रहा है आप सबको हमें, and audience को मजा भी आ रहा है डरने में. So let me take this next question, of course, to Vikram. Vikram, my question to you is: you enjoyed this wonderful marriage of sorts, I would say, with Amazon Prime Video, and you guys have brought us such great films, whether it's Shakuntala Devi or Chhorii or Durgamati. So my question to you is that how does Chhorii add up to that math? How is that also as special as the rest?
Every marriage has its share of scares. So that's our attempt at solemnizing that aspect of the marriage as well. But Amazon Prime Video is such an integrated partner to us at Abundancia that our highlight work, our special work is always put in front of them. And the team here, Gaurav, Manish, Sonia, the amazing marketing team, the content team, they're just like an extended family to all of us at Abundancia Entertainment. So it was a logical decision. It was an obvious choice to discuss this film with the team at Prime Video, and here we are. And when it helps that it's a genre that's underserved, not just in the country, but even on streaming services. So hoping that it connects well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Jack, my next question is to you. You have a global presence under Blumhouse Productions as the horror content developer and producer for digital mediums, and basically you scare the world. So what's up? Why did you want to scare us, especially or specifically in the Indian market? Talk to me about that.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you to everyone here, and I'm so grateful to be in India and have been in Mumbai the past few days, but to be in Goa today. This is such a special place, and I always feel so welcome when I'm here, and it's truly something that's just so special to me. I think with that in mind, when I met Vikram, the great thing about OTT is it's bringing the world closer together, and people can share cultures and share stories, and when Chhorii is going to be on Amazon, it can be next to the biggest titles. It's a chance for consumers to be inspired by great directors like Vishal or a superstar like Nushrratt, and by what I wanted to do in bringing Scary here, which I think we've done with this film, and we're so lucky to do with Amazon, and I hope we do again, is elevate this genre. And this is a genre that I think has global appeal. Like you said, Crypt has global appeal. Well, this genre has global appeal, and as this market embraces this genre more, I think that will match with the content from India and Hindi film having a true global penetration.
Well, thank you so much for that answer. And I'm glad you tossed it to Nushrratt already because my next question is actually for her. Nushrratt, I have been following your career. We've been talking about the movies every time they come out. And it's been such a pleasure to watch this journey. So my question to you is that, was this horror sort of genre a sort of natural choice of progression for you? Talk to me about it in terms of your career progression.
I don't think I pick a genre as a career progression. I've never really thought of it like that. For me, each film is a story that connects to me. Something has to hit me. Something has to inspire me. And I want to be part of that film. I met Vikram very early on in my career. He was with me at LSD. He was with me at Vyaka Panchnama, and he's here with me at Chhorii. There's just something that I know that's right in the universe that falls in place at the right time. Chhorii has come to me at the right time, I feel, with everybody involved in the film. So whether it's Vikram, whether it's Vishal, it's script, or it's Prime Video. All of them have come together at such a brilliant time. I mean, if you ask me, did I think of a film like this having a global sort of reach 2 years back, 3 years back? Maybe not. But we are living in a different time. And I'm such a consumer. I've been binging on everything that comes. And also, this is something I truly believed in. OTT has opened up our minds creatively, and because we are subjected, and now we have this diverse content to watch. It evolves us as audience, and when your audience evolves, automatically there's space for more of these stories to come out, and automatically we as actors get to do so much more. Being part of the film industry, that's just something that I want to support, want to stand for, and want to kind of push in as much as I can. So more of these films I'm happy to do. Genre, no genre, career progression, no career progression. It's just something that I feel, and I will do just purely on that.
That's so well said. So big hand for that because that's so important. It's about the story. What I'm really missing is that how many of you watched the trailer? Can you kind of show of hands if you're young? That's great. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Let's go, guys.
Well, let's go, guys. Yeah. What I'm really missing at this point? I mean, I don't know if I should say this, but seriously, the way you carried the role of a pregnant woman. And I don't know, there's something in women instantly that connects. I mean, when I saw that, I said, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this film. So I wish you luck, and especially because we're going to be watching it in less than 45 minutes. So, all right, let me quickly take this around the room now. Which brings me back to you, Vikram. Could you please talk to me about your collaboration with Crypt TV and how that's special for you?
Fear is such a fundamental human emotion that stories that scare tend to impact, stay back, resonate with fans agnostic of screens and mediums. With that in mind, and the DNA of storytelling that we have at Abundancia Entertainment, we wanted to do high quality work dedicated to the horror and paranormal genre. One of the greatest challenges that Shikha and I started facing as we were building this out was the lack of quality writing and quality production values. That's not because India lacks talented writers who can write horror, but it's just that it's such an under-evolved, under-nurtured genre that the experience was lacking. Our vision was to set about a slate of films, series, which would be pure play horror. Not the kind of masala horror that we've been doing, nothing against that, some great stories come out of that, but pure scary. A logical extension of that quest led me to the West, and I'm a huge fan of the genre myself, looking at all the outstanding work coming out of new age creators like Jordan Peele, Jason Blum, and in one such visit to LA, I put the word out that we are looking for collaborators in India for this genre. We want to learn from the best, we want to partner with the best, we want to bring the best tellers of scary stories to India. And we continue wanting to do that. In my first meeting with Jack, which happened at a quaint little coffee shop in LA, I realized that this was a man and this was a company that had just the right match for what we were looking out for. The content universe that Crypt TV has been creating has led them to be called the marvel of monsters, and that's no small moniker for a young company and for a young set of creators. In that first meeting, Jack told me, and this is a statistic that you should know, India is the second largest watching country for Crypt TV outside of the US and their content, and we didn't even know that. Also, what led to this collaboration was the fact that almost all Crypt stories are underpinned with very strong human emotions, societal emotions, and issues at the heart of them. That's just the kind of work we were looking for. Chhorii was in development. Vishal and I had met. I'd seen his wonderful Marathi film. We were underway with developing it when this collaboration happened, and here we are. Jack jumped at the idea of this film. He read the script, gave us very important notes. Nushrratt and Jack met, Vishal and Jack met, and this is the first of many such films and works of content to come out of this collaboration, I can promise you.
Well, thank you for that, and I wish you luck with this partnership. You know, अब तक तो हम बाकियों से बात करके आए हैं, but creator से ना बात करें, but we were saving the best for last, Vishal. And I'm saying that very well, you know, with Nushrratt being on the panel, because we both believe this. So Vishal, over to you at this point. You know, he just mentioned, of course, that you know it's 2017. We've seen this story. We saw it in Marathi. He did really well. But I'm going to ask you a very, very personal question because we're going to watch it in like 40 minutes, right? Tell me, do you think that the Hindi version is going to match up to your Marathi version?
To be very frank with you, both are my babies. You know, I mean, you can't distinguish between two babies, so it's better to keep them apart. So the original one was made in a certain scenario for a certain state, in a certain language, with certain economic limitations, I would say, because there was somebody who trusted me at that point of time with that story, and you know, it was only responsible for me to ensure that I honor that belief and I tell a true story at that point of time and ensure that the film gets the success that I think it should. I mean, and thankful to the audiences, everyone loved the film. The female audiences really appreciated the film. They came in large numbers to watch the film. I have seen theatres packed with women, houseful boards. So yeah, I mean that film did really well. And then this version was made. And when Vikram sir called me over, invited me over to talk about it, I was finding somebody who had a long-term vision for the genre, because I always felt that we have underserved this genre in the country, and it really is such an amazing genre. I mean, Crypt TV is a prime example of how that genre is successful all over the globe. And we have creators like Jordan Peele and Mike Flanagan and James Wan and Jason Blum who are doing amazing in this genre. So why not in this country? I mean, I know all of us have horror stories to tell over here and experiences. And it was only due time that I find the right person, and a person with a belief and a long-term vision for the future of the genre. And that is when Vikram sir called me over, and then I found myself in the right hands with his immense experience and his stint at promoting good content earlier in his career. So I knew that I was in the right hands, and that Jack came in, he saw the film, he reconfirmed my belief in my own story. So yeah, so we have tried to make a version of that film. Both stand in right in their own way, in their own markets for the audiences that they have made, and I'm proud of both of them. I cannot distinguish between the two.
Well, thank you so much for that. Obviously, today we're going to watch it here at IFI and then in 240 plus countries thanks to Amazon Prime Video. And I can't even imagine the feeling for a creator who made a film and then it was so good that now you want to take it to the world. And that's what this story really is, right?
Yeah, thankfully. Sorry, I'll just cut you there, but that's really important, because if I'm making a new version, I'm making it for a much larger audience and not limited to one state. So here with Amazon Prime Video, I am getting that opportunity to showcase this film in 240 countries. I mean, what does a filmmaker want, right? I'm getting a global audience. So, and trust me, I have done digital work before. It's like your film is always in the theater, you know, it never comes down. And that's the feeling when the film is on OTT. I'm not kidding, because I've seen it with my other content, and I keep getting reactions to my previous content day in and day out. I'm not kidding. So I'm really excited. to have my film there. And from today onwards, till at least for a few years or forever, the film will be there, and I'll keep getting reactions. All of us will keep getting reactions. It's really very motivating.
Wonderful. I must give you full disclosure. Today was the first horror film that I watched, and that was Nushrratt Bharuccha. So thank you so much. Because I said I can't fake it, you know. So I have to be here. I have to be scared. And oh my God, did you scare me? So it was a bloodbath after a while. So all the best, guys. आप जा रहे हैं theatre में? किसी का हाथ ज़रूर पकड़ेगा. All the best for that. All right. Vishal, actually, my second question is also to you at this point because I want to know. You just said that everybody in the audience has a story, has one horror story. I'd love to know on the set while creating Chhorii, were there any such stories that you want to tell us?
I mean, the biggest horror story in current history was going on, COVID. So that was a constant scare. Thankfully, we were on the receiving end of the first wave, and the producers really ensured that all the precautions were taken. And thankfully, those kind of incidents did not happen. The health scare was not a worry. There was one small incident which I cannot explain why, but it did happen. One of the locals who was working as a lifeguard for the film, because we were shooting in a very old well, and there was a religious, like a little shrine next to that well, and we were told to keep it open because the locals believe that this well is also, it's quite old and it might have some kind of history. So we did keep that shrine open. But when that lifeguard was inside the well, it was not a very deep, the water level was hardly 4-5 feet. We had ensured that we removed all the water. But for some reason, at a certain point when we were in the middle of a take, we heard a shriek, and this local, he just fell unconscious in the water. The other lifeguards took him out. The first aid was given, and he probably got back in about an hour or so. But he had no clue. He had no clue why that happened. There was no illness. Till date, we don't know why that happened, but it was really scary. And I was at the monitor and I heard a shriek and I was like, what happened? And I was scared that one of the crew members fell into the water. What really happened? So that was quite scary.
I'm so scared to shoot with you, you know. Which is why, which is why my next question
welcome
is
to my world.
Yeah, welcome to my world, he says. Nushrratt, this is my question to you. I would be scared to shoot with Vishal Bharuccha, but talk to me about how it is working with a creative man like Vishal. Because I remember at the trailer launch when you told us that he was the whisper in your ear, right? So tell us about that.
Exactly on the same location, the well. We were doing a scene, and I think we were on the last few days of the film, and the second last day of the film. And the film is very emotionally heavy and very physically heavy. And I think I was too exhausted and too drained with all the emotions. That particular scene, I walked up to Sir and I said, Sir, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I've reached like my wit's end. Like I really do not know how to get into the scene. So he said, don't worry, you do the take, I know what to do. And I was on mark, I had to run towards the well, and then I had a sort of a breakdown scene. He said something to me right before in my ear. Like he walked up and he said that to me. I kid you not, really, I couldn't even walk into frame. I started crying right there and I kept screaming, sir, no, why did you have to say this to me? Like, of course, it was a trigger that he used because that's what I feel directors have to be extremely cutthroat, good, and like very clear about, that you have to get your actors to perform that. The triggers have to be there to be used, and he used it. I cannot tell you, Rohini, there was a whole different design of how we were going to shoot that scene and that shot. But I ran in crying, I sat down at the well, I don't even know what I have done. They just kept rolling it, and in the film that is one take single shot. We've not retaken it. And he got that out of me. They cut it, and this is who the man is. He's run from wherever the monitor is, he's come to me next to the well, he's held me, he's like literally held me, and he just kept saying sorry to me. He said, I'm so sorry I made you do this. I'm so sorry I said this to you. I'm so sorry you have to go through this. And I'm looking at him, I said, are you mad? It was a great shot. I mean, it's great, but that's who he is. He has the heart for it, he has the mind for it, he has the talent for it, and he has the soul for it. And sir, I will do, again, I will say this, I will do anything you ask of me. In any film,
that's
at
really
any
kind
time.
of
I
you.
absolutely love you.
And yeah, that's really kind of. I thought you will throw me in the water. I was like कि मैं जा तो रहा हूँ, इनको बोला भाई संभाल लेना, ये मुझे फेंकने वाली है पक्का. but it is very nice of you to be receptive to the director, and that's really a lovely gesture. Thank you so much.
That's amazing. You know what I just realized is that this audience right here who's going to go and watch this film now are perhaps going to be the first audience who's going to go and watch this scene. So when you watch this scene, it would be great if you can tweet to us, you know, all of us, and tell us we were at MP and Nushrratt, we saw that, or Shah, we saw that. And that would really make this an amazing conversation to carry forward. I'm going to take this to Manish at this point. Manish, I must talk about a pattern that you have been setting. Whether it's Chhorii or Durgamati or Shakuntala Devi, and there are so many films that you've been putting out there with the Sheroes story. And I think that's really important for both of us, for Nushrratt, me, and perhaps every man and woman in this auditorium, because it's not just the reserve of, you know, women. Talk to me about why it's important for Amazon Prime to champion stories of Sheroes.
I think this is not something we do by chance, it's something we do by choice. Women-centric stories are not just important, but they're integral to us and our responsibility as a storyteller, as a service to consumers and creators both. I think the other part is, which is all passionate about it. We genuinely are. And this is another one of those, you know, this is a woman-centric film. It has a social message. And we just believe that as a platform, we carry an equal or sometimes even more of a responsibility than storytellers, because we are the ones who are responsible for taking them to the audiences, not just in India, but globally.
You know, I know that we want to talk a lot more about this. Maybe we will, and maybe we'll shoot it, and maybe we'll send it on everybody's WhatsApp at some point. But for right now, it breaks my heart to say that this is all the time we have with this session. And I do hope that if I had more questions and we had more time, I would have covered them. But thank you so much for joining me today on this panel and for giving us your thoughts and your time. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the team of Chhorii. Please give them a big hand once again.